5 signs you still carry emotional scars. Recognize to heal. Have you ever found yourself in a new relationship where everything seems fine, but you just can't shake a sense of unease? It's like a ghost from the past keeps lingering, whispering worst-case scenarios in your ear. You love the person you're with now, but you react to them as if they were the one who hurt you before. If this feeling resonates, you are absolutely not alone. Emotional wounds don't magically disappear when a relationship ends. They leave invisible scars shaping how we think, feel, and behave in future relationships. They create defense mechanisms that once helped us survive, but are now unintentionally preventing us from finding true happiness. Today, we're not going to talk about who was right or wrong. We're going to look deeply within ourselves with compassion and understanding to identify 5 common traits in people who have been deeply hurt in love. The goal isn't to label, but to name these feelings to understand their roots and, most importantly, to find a path toward healing. Trait number 1. Always in defense mode and expecting the worst. This is perhaps the most obvious lingering effect. Your brain, after experiencing betrayal, abandonment, or hurtful words, has learned a bitter lesson. Love isn't safe. Always be on guard. How it shows up. You're like a soldier constantly on watch. You analyze every word, every subtle action from your partner, searching for danger signs. A delayed text message. They must be losing interest. A genuine piece of feedback. You hear it as harsh criticism. They're having a bad day and want some alone time. Your brain immediately jumps to the conclusion, they're about to leave me. You're always bracing for the worst-case scenario. It's a way to protect yourself from being blindsided from feeling that excruciating pain like last time. If you can anticipate it, maybe it won't hurt as much. The root of the problem. This defense mechanism stems from a profound loss of trust. When the person you trusted most hurts you, your worldview is shaken. You learn that even the most beautiful things can crumble in an instant. So instead of trusting in stability, you start looking for cracks for signs of impending collapse. The consequence. This defensiveness unintentionally pushes away the people who love you. They feel like their every action is under a microscope, that they can never truly earn your full trust. Worse yet, it can create a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because you're so afraid of abandonment, you might act in negative, controlling, or distant ways, and those very actions can lead to the relationship's actual end. Your way out. When you notice yourself starting to spiral into negative assumptions, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and practice reality checking. Ask yourself, do I have any concrete evidence for this thought? Is there another possible explanation for their behavior? E.g., they're busy, they're tired, they're stressed from work. Does this reaction come from the reality of this relationship or from past pain? The first step isn't to trust others, but to learn to question your own automatic negative thoughts. Trait number 2. Constantly needing reassurance and validation from your partner. Do you frequently ask questions like, do you still love me? Are we okay? You're not mad at me? Are you after every small conversation? How it shows up, you feel a constant hunger for validation. A day without a compliment or a loving gesture from them can leave you feeling profoundly insecure. Your self-worth and the security of the relationship seem to entirely depend on your partner's mood and expressions that day. You need them to vocalize it to constantly affirm that everything is fine, that they won't leave. The root of the problem. Past trauma, especially abandonment or constant criticism, has eroded your self-esteem and internal sense of security. It creates an empty space within. You no longer trust your own worth or believe that you deserve unconditional love. So you seek external validation to fill that void to prove that you are good enough. The consequence. This can exhaust your partner. No matter how much they love you, having to constantly reassure you can make them feel pressured as if their love is never enough. For you, relying on external validation keeps you in a passive and vulnerable state. Your way out. This journey is about rebuilding your worth from within. Start practicing self-reassurance. When you feel insecure, place a hand over your heart and tell yourself the words you wish to hear from others. I am okay. I am worthy of love. This feeling will pass. Create an evidence list of your own worth and the stability of your relationship. Write down beautiful moments, loving words, times they've been there for you. When in doubt, read it again. Learn to become your own primary source of safety and security. Trait number 3, an intense fear of conflict and anger. For many people, an argument is just an argument, but for you, it can feel like the end of the world. How it shows up. At the first sign of disagreement, your heart starts to race. You tend to either freeze, go completely silent, and agree to everything just to make it stop, or you avoid conflict altogether. You'd rather endure internal discomfort than speak up about an issue that might cause an argument. You dread seeing your partner frown, raise their voice, or even just fall into a tense silence. The root of the problem. If in the past, anger and conflict were consistently accompanied by insults, punishment, threats of abandonment or violence, physical or emotional, you learned conflict, danger. Anger, threat to survival. Your brain doesn't differentiate between a healthy discussion to solve a problem and a destructive attack. The consequence. This fear prevents the relationship from growing. Important issues are never fully resolved, but merely suppressed, gradually creating a large distance between you two. You can't express your true needs, and your partner doesn't have the opportunity to understand and meet them. Your way out. Learn to differentiate and approach conflict in a safe way. Start small. Try expressing a differing opinion on a low-stakes topic like a movie or a meal. Use I feel in statements instead of you statements. For example, instead of saying, you never listen to me, try I feel unheard when. Work with your partner to set ground rules for arguments, e.g., no interrupting, no bringing up old issues, willingness to take a break if things get too intense. Show yourself that conflict doesn't have to be a battle. It can be an opportunity for you two to understand each other better. Trait number 4, an excessive tendency towards people-pleasing. You become a chameleon, constantly changing to fit your partner's desires and moods. How it shows up. You have difficulty saying no. You're willing to cancel plans with friends, give up a hobby, or do something you genuinely dislike just to make them happy. You constantly monitor their mood to adjust your behavior. Your go-to phrases are, whatever you want, or it's up to you. Gradually, you no longer know what you truly want or like. The root of the problem. This is a survival mechanism. In a past toxic relationship, having your own opinions or desires might have been punished with coldness, criticism, or anger. You learned, to be loved and maintain peace, I must become invisible and have no needs. People-pleasing became your way to buy acceptance and avoid abandonment. The consequence, you lose yourself. The relationship ceases to be a connection between two separate individuals and becomes one person serving another. This not only creates underlying resentment within you, but also prevents your partner from ever having the chance to love the real you because they've never truly met that person. Your way out. This journey is about reconnecting with yourself. Start with the smallest decisions. What do you want to eat today? What movie do you want to watch this weekend? Allow yourself to have an opinion. Practice saying no to small, low-risk requests. You don't need to over-explain. A simple, I'm sorry I can't, is enough. Spend time alone asking yourself, what do I genuinely enjoy? What makes me happy? Rediscover hobbies you've abandoned. You deserve to have your own space within your own relationship. Trait number 5, significant difficulty, setting and maintaining boundaries. Boundaries for you aren't a protective fence, but a wall that separates love. How it shows up. You feel tremendous guilt when you need personal space. You allow your partner to read your messages, control your social relationships, or make important decisions for you. When they do something that makes you uncomfortable, you choose to suffer in silence, fearing that speaking up will be seen as selfish or making a big deal out of nothing. The root of the problem. In past relationships, your boundaries may have been consistently violated. Your needs were disregarded, your privacy disrespected. You were trained to believe that love meant dissolving into one another without any distance. Setting boundaries was equated with rejection or a lack of trust. The consequence. A lack of boundaries leads to exhaustion and a loss of self-respect. You feel like you have no control over your own life. It creates an environment where controlling and disrespectful behaviors can continue in new relationships because you've unintentionally signaled, "I have no boundaries. You can treat me however you want." Your way out. Learn the language of boundaries again. Identify your needs. What do you need to feel safe and respected, e.g., needing alone time after work, not wanting to discuss a sensitive topic when tired, needing to be consulted before joint decisions? Communicate boundaries gently but clearly. For example, "I love you, but tonight I really need a little time to myself to recharge." Remember, people who truly love and respect you will respect your boundaries. Anyone who gets angry about your boundaries is benefiting from you not having them. Recognizing yourself in one or even all 5 of these traits might feel heavy, but I hope you'll view it through a different lens. This isn't proof that you're broken or weak, quite the opposite. This is evidence of how incredibly strong you've been to survive. These traits are scars, and scars are proof that you were wounded, but you made it through and you are here. The journey of healing isn't about erasing the past. It's about learning to live with it without letting it control your future. It's about learning to dismantle outdated defense mechanisms that are no longer necessary and instead building trust in yourself, in your ability to choose, and in a kind, safe love that you absolutely deserve. Be gentle with yourself on this journey. You've come a very long way. So, what do you think about this topic? Leave comment below and click subscribe for more. Thank you, and see you later.